Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the latest from the live radar, run for the UKV, have a look at the precipitation and the temperature over the next 5 days, as we have got plenty of rainfall and generally pretty chilly conditions around for many over the next 5 days. There could be some brighter spells over the next couple of days. We could see temperatures rise into the low 20s, maybe even a 24 or 25 in some isolated southeastern regions, but generally that is still pretty much average for the time of year. So saying that is going to be the best weather in the next 5 days just shows you how poor the general outlook is. As we head beyond that into early August, there really is only one word for the weather we're going to be seeing, and it is abysmal. Upper air temperatures are going to be well below average, at times perhaps as much as 5 degrees below average, and we're going to see low pressure continually coming off the Atlantic and perhaps even hang around up towards Scandinavia at times, just giving us persistent northerly winds. Now, if we did see a bit of persistent northerly wind, because it's coming from a drier location, northerly winds are quite dry relative to westerly winds, it would mean showers were less, we'd have less cloud around, but the temperatures would be pretty chilly, and we'd have blustery winds, making it feel more like autumn than midsummer. So yes, outlook is pretty abysmal. Not looking great if you have got any plans in the next week or two. So I keep saying I hope things are going to be on the up, and there are signs through August things could be on the up, but it's not looking likely in the next week or two. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, which do like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. To start on the live radar, you can see we've still got some lingering precipitation from the huge weather system we saw that moved through most of yesterday and overnight. Again, producing a lot of heavy rain, and you can see some of that rain now across parts of northern and western Europe. So we've got some lingering areas of heavy rain across Scotland, but elsewhere we've got some more light, patchy, drizzly rain through much of the Midlands, central southern England, up towards South Wales as well, and a lot of thick cloud. But it should break through this afternoon. Those temperatures could rise in places, as I said, towards the low 20s. Calling this around half 10, 11, and you can see the temperatures are not too bad actually for this time of the day. Again, seeing some oranges here, again, temperatures mid to high teens at the moment, and as I said, could rise by a few more degrees through this afternoon. And if we do just check out the last 24 hours for the precipitation, you'll be able to see that we saw huge amounts of rainfall in some places, again, showing lots of these darker greens up towards yellows, indicating precipitation in around that 20 to 30 millimetre point in some areas, but more widely around that 10 millimetre point. So yes, lots of heavy rain, and it looks likely to continue over the next few days and the next few weeks. Now, if you look at the UKV, you can see all that precipitation heading to our east through this morning. And again, turning more patchy and lighter as it does. Through the rest of today, we still have a few showers around, but it could be some brighter spells through this afternoon. But actually, it does look like the UKV has held back on those brighter spells than we were seeing over the last few days, with more drizzle around. So again, making it feel a little bit cooler and a little bit more miserable in places. As we head beyond that into Friday, you can see a bit more of a clearer slot coming in from the west, and that could mean through Friday afternoon that there's a few more patches of sunnier weather, and there's fewer showers here. It could be a few heavy, maybe a few isolated thundery showers across parts of the Republic of Ireland, but mostly it is relatively dry and relatively pleasant. So not too bad of a day on Friday, but it really is a transient good day between more low pressure coming in off the Atlantic. And you can see that as we head into Saturday, more rainfall in places, not a particularly strong area of low pressure in terms of the weather fronts aren't that strong. We haven't got too much spin up of this low, so the weather fronts are relatively weak here. So really only patchy areas of heavy rain and some heavy thundery showers through Saturday, but nonetheless still relatively unsettled, and most regions will be impacted by some of these heavy thundery showers. And then as we head into Sunday, another large weather front moves in through the evening into Monday, again giving heavier rain for mostly northern and western regions, but could just about linger in the south and the east before a heavier pulse of rain, probably cold front on the backside of this low, starts to move in for southern regions through Monday, giving pretty abysmal conditions there for the last day of July, with heavy and even thundery rain across the southeast. So you can see it's not completely horrendous over the next 5 days, but there's going to be plenty of pretty miserable weather around. You could just about dodge it at times and see something a little bit more pleasant, but at the moment we're not looking too encouraging. Again, the upper air temperatures are going to be pretty poor. Again, 10 degrees is the average for the time of year, and you can see over the next few days we're just about to nudge the average at times when we do see a transient warm sector, but the majority of the time it's going to be below that level. The 2 metre max temperatures, again, you can see maybe just about touching 21, 22 degrees, so a bit of a downgrade in the last day or two. So unfortunately not quite as warm as we anticipated today, but still could just about nudge towards average in some places. Into tomorrow with a bit more sunshine around, those temperatures slightly higher, more widely 22 to 24, so more of an average summery day here, but still that's the best we've had in a while, and the best we're probably going to have in a number of days as well after this. So yeah, that's pretty poor, being an average summer day. Is sort of the highlight of a week, so yeah, not great at all. As we head into Saturday, as I said, more showers pushing in. Still could see a 22 or 23, but of course that is very much dependent on the shower activity, which does look quite widespread. Doesn't look too large in terms of those showers, don't look like they're banding up too much, but plenty of pop-up showers around, so lots of sunny weather, and then lots of showers moving in at times as well. Into Sunday, finally, you can see again, temperatures are all right in the east, but they are deteriorating in the south and the west, down towards the mid to low teens under the heavy rain. And that will continue into Monday, where temperatures are pretty abysmal, hardly anywhere reaching 20 plus degrees, maybe somewhere across the East Midlands into northeast England, but most areas around the mid to high teens, as we do see heavy rain move in. And if you avoid the heavy rain, then thick, miserable cloud. Not looking good. Now, of course, this is only the next 5 days. The longer term actually looks worse than this. You can see the low pressure out in the Atlantic that's going to give us unsettled weather over the coming days. It is slowly moving in off the Atlantic. It does weaken as it does, and that's why on Saturday we're expecting more just shower activity than any big weather fronts. But we see a more active low move in later part towards Monday and Tuesday. Quite an active system to start the 1st of August. So it's going to be miserable there, and you can see that low pressure actually parks up towards Scandinavia and just pours in northerly winds. Now this air direction is a lot drier. You can see the dew points do drop towards the UK, towards Scotland, even getting down towards the low single digits, but much drier than air coming in off the Atlantic, where you see the dew points are a lot higher, which will mean the air mass will be less conducive for showers, so should be slightly drier there for a time. But the winds don't take too long to veer more from the westerly again, and you can see plenty of lows coming in off the Atlantic, and right towards the end of the run, another big low pressure system coming in off the Atlantic, keeping us extremely miserable. And you can see the upper air temperatures are abysmal. Look at that, consistent blues, and this is a period that spans about 2 weeks of consistent blues, consistently below average, and just about seeing some transient yellows at times. But as I said, it's associated with the warm front, so with cloud and rain. Not good at all. And the reason for this is the jet stream all coming straight across the Atlantic towards the UK. Look how strong it is there for the first few days of August. This should be well to our north towards Iceland and Scandinavia, but these areas are to the north of the jet stream, something that generally doesn't happen this time of year for long periods of time. It can happen, and we do see stormy weather during the summer, we do see unsettled weather, but very rarely does it persist for a number of weeks that it has done at the moment. Not good at all. And again, bringing all that miserable weather that should be confined further northwards towards northwest Europe and specifically the UK. If you look at the GM run, again, low pressure coming in off the Atlantic, but weakening as it does, and that's why it's more of a showery outlook through Saturday. Then into Sunday, more active low moves in, giving heavy rain in places. Again, the northerly wind comes in for a number of days next week, with that low parked out to our east, and that low actually re-strengthens, becoming quite a deep system with very strong northerly winds and pretty chilly air for the time of year. Again, dew points are pretty cool. Again, it's difficult to see here because of the colour gradient, but you can see to our east, dew points into the mid-teens, to our west, up towards 20 degrees, for us, mid-single digits, maybe as high as 10 degrees in certain areas, and the temperature deviation is abysmal once again. Plenty of blues. Again, it's a bit deceiving seeing some warmer anomalies towards Scandinavia, but that's because the warm air is getting wrapped around the low, and this warm air actually if they're headed towards the UK, it would be generally average sort of air mass. It's just warmer than average because it is that far northwards. So yeah, not good. And again, another pretty abysmal GEM run. Again, if we look at the ECMWF, again, Atlantic systems coming in weak towards this weekend, but more of an active system towards the 1st of August, and that parks out in the Atlantic and actually strengthens and continually gives us northerly winds spiralling around. We actually see another small, deep low here, just off the coast of the southwest, with some warm air entrenched in it. That could be quite a lively system. And once again, UK and this pocket of cold air, all this blues dominating, keeping it pretty abysmal. And this all culminates in the ensembles where you can see pretty much over the next couple of weeks, apart from the next day or so, and maybe towards the 1st of August when that deeper low moves in, we're going to be below average in terms of upper air temperatures, with it feeling pretty cold and with high precipitation as well. Look at that, lots of precipitation spikes. And of course, London generally has relatively low rainfall during the summer, not only just in actual rainfall compared to winter times, but compared to areas further northwards and westwards. So London's seeing plenty of patches of rain. Further northwards and westwards, it's going to be even wetter. Again, the dew points, not expecting them to be too high because it's dropping in the longer term. Look at that, dew points around the 6 or 7 degree mark. That is autumnal or even getting towards winter time dew points. Again, we need 0 degree dew points for snow, and we're at sort of 6 or 7 degrees here at times. So close towards autumnal or sort of generally winter time average or higher than average dew points. So yeah, pretty poor. And you can see dew points at the moment are 16 degrees, so really dropping off. And again, maybe it's a good sign. It could mean drier air that will mean less showers, but we won't be able to say that with any detail until nearer the time. And then finally, 2 meter temperatures are pretty much abysmal as well. Look at that, generally hovering around 20 degrees at best. Again, a good few degrees below average for London. And yeah, could be cooler than that when we have more extensive rainfall. We can see the GFS operational run, which does take rainfall and cloud amounts more into account because it is higher resolution. The ensembles has days here hardly getting above 15 degrees, which truly is abysmal for midsummer. If you finish by having the ECMWF run, pretty similar, well below average from the majority of ensemble members, and higher precipitation as well. So really no difference. The GFS just maybe slight up and downs and slight deviations here with some of the rainfall and some of the precipitation, with some of the temperatures here. And then finally look at the 2 meter temperatures, again hardly getting towards 20 degrees at times into early August, again starting us off on a very cold note. Yeah, been a very weird summer so far. It's very warm, dry June, and then has been a very wet and pretty cool July so far. Again, the CET is hovering around average, but it is slowly lowering as we have had relatively warm nights compared to the upper air temperatures we've been seeing. So that's why the CET hasn't dropped as low as we would anticipate with this sort of poor upper air temperatures and precipitation amounts. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens in the next few weeks, but it's not looking too encouraging in the short or medium term. But hopefully some further advancements and better conditions into the longer term as we do progress towards the middle of August, where hopefully things may be looking on the up. But unfortunately, it does look likely that we are starting to run out of time for summer, as we are slowly progressing towards autumn. Some would even argue autumn's already arrived, but slowly heading towards meteorological autumn in around 4 or 5 weeks' time. As I said, thanks for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.